Hi, everybody. The Lady Bisons are Great American Conference tournament champions for the first time in school history as they get the victory here today, 9-2 against Southern Arkansas. Alexis Llewellyn, all-tournament team, congratulations. Just your initial thoughts on winning this tournament championship.
You know, we came into this game knowing we can do it, but it's surreal that we actually did it because we have worked so hard since the fall to get where we are now, and I cannot speak enough about this team and the grit. You know, for them to come out and score in the first inning, that's just deflating anyway. So when we come out and we have the energy still, innings 1 through 7, and finish the way we did, 9-2, huge lead, that just speaks amounts about this team and who we play for and all of that. It's fantastic. I don't have words. It's fantastic.
What was the dugout like? I mean, you guys were down for the first time in this tournament, down 1-0, came back, tied it, then down 2-1, came back and tied it, and then tied going into the 7th inning.
Just like you said, it is just a wave of emotions in that dugout. They doubled us off one play, but then we get another base hit the next, and, we're trying to stay positive, but we'd be lying if you say your heart doesn't get a little heavy, when they score a run or whatever. But our dugout, we always try to stay positive, and we did. And when it caught fire, it caught fire. We stayed positive and we stayed loud, and I think that was a big reason why we just shut them out like that.
How important was the experience that you guys had being in the same spot last year? It didn't go quite the way that it did this year, but to be in that spot last year, the team seemed very loose before the game started when I was down the field before the game.
Right. I'm a true believer that you have to be in this situation and know what you want to do in this situation. And last year we had our hearts broken. And I think that made us want it that much more because, our seniors and the girls that were here last year, we looked at each other and said, we are not going to experience that again because we are a whole different team and we deserve a lot more than that. So, after last year and having our hearts broken in a walk-off in the first game and then, like a blowout in the second, we decided that we're not going to have that anymore. So it was a team effort. And, we were so loose, having fun, thinking we've been here before. So we decided we were going to do it, and we did.
All right, Alexis, congratulations. You enjoyed being up here with you guys this weekend, and we're not done. We'll see you next week in the regionals.
Not. Thank you so much. We're nowhere near done yet.
All right, Alexis Llewellyn joining us, and now we're waiting on who's coming next. I think we're going to visit with Mackenzie Jones, who's going to come over, and we're going to visit with her. And Mackenzie Jones, what a weekend, all-tournament team, and congratulations. Your thoughts on winning this tournament championship today?
Well, it was just really good coming back from last year. It was really fun that we got to play SAU again and kind of get them back from last year.
And what about, before we talk about the game even more, the way the day started for you? Dr. Gaines here and the celebration before the game with the graduation.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm really glad that I was able to do it here. It was a lot of fun.
And now coming in the last couple of weeks, you are really swinging the bat well. What do you attribute that to over the last 2 weeks?
Well, I know everyone else is really doing a great job, so it kind of takes off the pressure. So I just go up there and hopefully, I see the ball. But
being a senior, being in the same spot a year ago, and now to win it this year before going to regionals, can you kind of put that into words?
Well, it's just really exciting because, the heartbreak of last year and then coming back and, coming 9-2, and it was just a lot of fun.
All right, congratulations. We'll see you next week in the regionals. Mackenzie Jones joining us. And we're waiting on Autumn Humes, who's a very busy person right now. And I don't know exactly where Autumn is. And she's walking away from us right now. If we can maybe get Laura to catch Autumn to come over and join us. And then we're going to visit with Phil Berry here as well when it's over. Autumn Humes, the tournament MVP. She had the big hit that drove in the game-winning runs and went the distance, won her 30th game of the season here earlier today. And Autumn obviously getting a lot of well wishes right now. But, again, if you just joined us and the Lady Bisons were tied 2-2 going into the 7th inning against Southern Arkansas. They tied it in the 6th, came back, tied it in the 6th, and then scored 7 runs in the 9th. Or in the 7th inning to actually take the lead. Autumn, we've been waiting on you for a while. I know you're
I'm sorry.
You're very busy, though. Tournament MVP, what does that mean to you?
It means so much, and I just want to thank my team, my coaches, our training staff, and everyone who helped us get to where we are, and I just wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Okay, take us back to the 7th inning. You're up there with the bases loaded and 2 outs and maybe the potential winning run at third base. What was going through your mind at that point?
Actually, I had a lot of things going through my mind right then, but when I stepped in the box, I automatically cleared my mind because I knew if my mind was running while I was in the box, it was just going to be a bad deal. hit the ball, hit the ground, and I was like, oh no, darn it, I messed this up. And it bounced right over her head, and I was like, run! So I think that's kind of just the role play of what happened in that time, yeah.
What about the last 2 days in the circle for you? That's a potent lineup that you're facing in Southern Arkansas. Shut them out yesterday and to hold them to just 2 runs today.
They are extremely hard to face. You know, they have great hitters back to back to back. They don't have a weak spot in their lineup. And I didn't sleep again last night, like I told you yesterday. And I just knew I had to come out on top today. And I knew if Coach Barry was giving me the ball, that's what I had to do. And so I just got out there with that mindset and decided to do it.
I asked Alexis at one point, what was the mood in the dugout, the close game? You know, people look at the final score, they don't realize just how close this game really was.
Mm-hmm. I think that we were all over the place. You know, one minute we're like, oh my gosh, come on. And the next minute we're up here. It was like a roller coaster just throughout the whole game. But I think one thing that was persistent is that we never got down. We were always, always, always up, encouraging everyone and ready to shut the other team down. And I think that's one thing that I'm so proud of.
30 wins in your freshman season. Congratulations. We're not finished. We'll be in the regional next week. The one thing I want you to do this week, fix your hair and get some rest, okay?
You fixed yours. Thank you so much for everything.
All right, Autumn Humes joining us afterwards, and Autumn and I have a running joke going on about the fact that my hair sticks up, and she teases me a lot about that. Coach Barry's having some pictures made right now, so we'll catch up with Coach Barry here in just a few moments and visit with him. We've got a lot that we want to talk with him about. He is having photos made right now, so we want to make sure, and we'll get the banner, get the trophy. Yeah, and Coach Barry's going to bring the trophy over here, and we're going to have him and the trophy. How about that? Yeah, what a thing, and we'll get Coach Barry to hold that. And Coach, I know that thing's probably heavy, but you don't mind to hold it right now while we talk. What a tremendous day, and congratulations on the tournament championship. What does this mean for your program?
Well, what a special moment for Harding softball, and you know, so much credit goes to Dr. Burks and Dr. McClarty and Coach Harnden and the group that decided to put softball at Harding University and allowed me the opportunity to come here and be a part of it. And what great players and great families made this happen. And, you know, you've always said, coaching, that if you get great players and great families, and good things happened, and it showed today.
Experience, we've talked about it all weekend. What did the experience of being in this same position a year ago, falling just short, but to come back, be here today, how much did that mean for this team, that experience now to be here and to get it done today?
Well, I think it's been such a motivating factor is that they were here last year and felt what it was like not to be able to get it done on championship day. And I think from that day forward, they kind of made a vow to each other and then cultured the newcomers as to what it meant to be here. And every practice from starting in the fall, even weightlifting last summer that they were doing in preparation for this year, had a motivation to try and get back here and have that opportunity again and see if we could close the deal. And sure enough, today it came down to crunch time, and we were able to close it.
It was 2-1. You're down in the 6th inning, bases empty. There was a double play turn at that point. Looked like, well, maybe there goes that chance in the 6th. But Kimmy Hendricks-Campbell, a senior, gets a double, and then Amanda Burden drives her in to tie the game. How important was that 6th inning?
Well, what momentum swings we had right in the game. Just two good teams just throwing blows at each other. And when they get the double play, it's kind of like, oh, man, you know, there goes an opportunity. And then when you're able to bounce back and you get the double, and then you get the chopper down the first base line on an 0-2 pitch, just fighting for a life. Amanda Burden comes up big. And I felt like once we got it tied, we were in a good position. You know, that was the hard part to me, is just getting it tied and then give yourselves an opportunity to go win it.
Yeah, and the all-tournament team, obviously the MVP was Autumn Humes. I know you're proud of Mackenzie Jones, Alexis Llewellyn, this entire team. But, you know, you had people step up this weekend. Mackenzie Jones had a great weekend.
Yeah, Mackenzie came through. She's been swinging the bat much, much better in the last couple of weeks and took advantage of our opportunities with some real key hits this weekend. As always, played excellent at first base. Katie Carney, Briley Faringa coming off the bench. It's been a team effort. And, you know, that's what they really buy into. You can tell by the jubilation over there how much they care about each other, and it's about everybody. It's not just about one or two players.
And 3 of the 4 runs today were scored with 2 outs. We've talked about that all year, but Autumn Humes gets the big 2-out hit, and then the floodgates kind of opened up there in the 7th inning.
Yeah, again,